You're listening to The Movie Rubric, hosted by Timothy McDaniel, Cole Wright, and Jonah Jovi. If you like what you hear, consider following us on Facebook and sharing us with your friends. Now please, enjoy the episode. I don't know what that noise was. All right. On that chaotic opening that you guys didn't hear because it was right before I hit the record button, welcome back to The Movie Rubric. I'm Timothy McDaniel.
Cole Wright.
Jonah Jovi.
And I'm Timothy McDaniel.
Oh, man, every season.
I'm going to do that at the start of every season.
Season 3.
We made it.
That's 3 more than I thought we were going to make it.
You know,
That's true.
that's actually kind of sad, but you're not wrong. My wife and I recently celebrated our third year of marriage, and I was like looking like we've made it more than like 60% of married couples now being on our third year, which is really sad. I want to know what the statistic is for podcast.
I think we're doing good.
I think we're doing fine.
With all podcasts in the world, I think we're doing great.
I agree. Like we've made it more than most podcasts make it, and I'm really proud of us. We're 3 years old today, technically, kind of. So, alrighty, this is our first episode back after the break. Did you guys have a good Christmas break?
I had a great
Jonah, I can't look at Jonah. He's eating a muffin.
I'm eating a
over here.
muffin and I'm leaning away from the mic and making weird faces. I
I didn't know what he was
apologize
doing at
Like
first.
the
for audio
chocolate rain
listeners.
guy.
Yeah. I can do it in the mic if that makes everyone feel
Yeah, would
better.
you give us one in the mic? That's beautiful. I hope that the noise gate didn't cancel that out. I have to go in and find that. No, I hope you guys had a good Christmas break. I saw you quite a bit over break because we're
Yeah.
both teachers. We had especially this last week, we had the snowpocalypse here in Southern Illinois.
What a good time, honestly.
It actually was really
10-day weekend. It was great.
It actually was
I
really
had a
nice.
terrible time.
Yeah, Jonah had a terrible time, though.
Jonah, I'm sorry that you decided to get a real job.
Yeah. That involves driving in the snow.
That's unfortunate for you, my man.
Nah, it was okay.
While we were at home playing Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, I'd be like stuck in the snow somewhere, and then I would like look at the phones like, guys, another day, Marvel Rivals, game time. Be like,
Oh, don't we went to the music store together. We went and got some coffee. We just we had a board game day without you at one point. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
We
I
had
was-
fun.
I was there in spirit, you know.
One turn away from winning Nemesis Lockdown, and I screwed it
You
up
sold.
because I wanted to go kill Cade, only to find out that the whole base was going to explode the next turn, and I died in the base. But like I was in the room to leave the base.
Oh,
So mad.
you're what do you call it?
He choked.
Your ego. Yeah,
Yeah,
got the best of
you
you.
go.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. I also have had such bad brain fog. I think I don't know when. I feel like at some point I had COVID recently because my brain has just not worked for like the last month. I've just had such bad brain fog. I was trying to request off work today, and it took me like 10 minutes of sitting there rubbing my temples to remember the website I'm supposed to go to request off. I was like,
man.
it's rough.
And you're cooked.
It's the holiday fog.
It really was.
We had 2 Christmas breaks here.
Yeah, true.
Basically, I needed those 5 days. I really did.
6 days.
Technically, yeah, 6 days. We had Monday off too.
That's
Man,
a lot, yeah.
and then I think we have. It sounds like a WWE like super move, like signature style move, but like we have something I saw on the news today called like a double polar vortex.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Let's see if we can go for another 10 days.
It was like everyone get
Hey, I'm
ready.
down.
It's like get ready for next week for
Have fun driving in that, Jonah.
for a
Hey.
double polar vortex. And I was like, is that like the new Rey Mysterio finisher? Like, what does that even mean?
Hey, bring it on. I took it the first time.
the
We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
I can see
Super
it. Like
slam.
you just hear like the ice crack, and then Rey Mysterio comes down off the top rope and like wraps both his legs around someone, and then Joe Rogan's like, "It's the double polar vortex!" You know, just like I can. Hopefully
spinning
the
around.
noise gate kicked in on that. The compressor kicked in on that. But yeah, I really want that to be a thing.
What an intro.
Rip
I know.
our people's ears.
Someone's gonna be like skipping ahead and then be like, bro, like, oh.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It was funny though.
Before we like dive into the movie we're going to talk about today, which is the first slam dunk.
Not the last slam dunk.
Not the last slam dunk, which I said a second ago, which would be really funny. What is there any movies over the break or in the past year that we are not doing an episode about that you would like to talk about? You watched, you enjoyed. Maybe you even just want to say like, I watched this and I recommend you to watch it too. Any movies? And then I didn't ask you guys to prepare this ahead of time. I kind of want to put you on the spot.
We watched. I feel like The Substance would be a really good talking point of a movie.
The Substance would have been a really good episode.
Did I enjoy it? It was fine.
Yeah, I was talking with a coworker about it today, and he echoed my sentiment, and he said, like, I feel like at one point it really had a good message, but then it throws it out the window.
It goes off the rails at the end.
Yeah, and it kind of ruins its own message. And I was like, that's how I feel
But
about it.
I will say, like, being serious though, it's a movie I rewatched, like since it came out, and I rewatched Iron Claw.
Yeah. And how do you like Iron Claw? Did you like it more the second time?
Oh, it's a phenomenal movie.
It's great. I
It's
love Iron Claw.
A24, and it honestly may be my favorite A24 movie after the second
Really?
watch.
I'm going to watch that at some point. Sorry, I'm trying to. I feel like my mic
I
is
almost put it in as a
cutting me
movie
off.
night pick, but it would ruin everyone's
It
time.
would crush you. Yeah, get some tissues ready for that movie.
Like you thought, like The Whale is depressing, but it's like because it's based in reality. Iron Claw is a real story.
Yes, like yeah.
Based on a real story is a real story.
It is a real story.
It
of
is
the
real.
Von Erich family.
Okay.
There's some things are changed. Did you know apparently there was another brother?
Yeah,
that
there
they
was
cut out for
Chris Von
runtime.
Erich. Yeah, they cut
Oh,
out
that's
because
actually kind of
Yeah.
funny.
they cut him out because he also
Spoilers.
committed Sudoku.
Spoilers for real life.
He did a Sudoku puzzle.
Now,
Yeah.
You could just Google search
The last Sudoku.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. So Iron Claw. And I actually have yet to watch that. I really want to watch
As a
that.
wrestling fan, I had to check it out, but like movie wise, Zac Efron's best work.
I was getting ready to ask how Zac Efron was in it. It was good?
He man was bringing it.
Okay.
Like it's like okay, this guy is a good actor.
Yeah, he was good.
I never thought he was bad. He has that problem that a lot of new-ish actors have, where if they start in a genre that's maybe not their strong suit, or they're just getting going and it's not meant to have good acting, people don't take them seriously. I think of like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
Like
now
Robert-
everyone loves him.
Robert Pattinson's an amazing actor. The problem is Twilight is not an amazing film. Sorry, people. Like, so it's really hard to act good in Twilight. When you're looking at the script, you're looking at what they give you. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, Zac Efron acted great. He got super jacked for that movie. Man was shredded like
Yeah,
crazy.
insanely shredded. The other guy, what's his name? The dude that's in The Bear. He's also great in that movie. He was really good. Everyone's great
What
in that
character does
movie.
he play in that one?
The brother that
Oh, Carrie Von Erich.
yeah, without spoilers.
I'm rewatching The Bear because I watched the first season and I want to watch season 2, and I think they're on season 3 now.
I think so. Yeah.
Rewatching The Bear, and that's a TV show I'll talk about. Like, that's a good show. You should watch The Bear. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I watched several shows. I didn't really watch any movies. I watched several shows. Arcane season 2, I watched that. That was really good.
Yeah.
You weren't a fan of season 2, I heard.
Here's the problem. When season 1 is like at a 12 out of 10, it's like one of the best seasons of television ever made. And then season 2 was just good. It's
Really?
underwhelming. Like,
See, I haven't watched season 1 since it came out in 2020.
yeah.
But I love season 2. I remember really liking season 1, but I don't. When I watched season 2, I didn't think, man, this was better or worse than 1. If that makes sense.
I can't really say too much here because I don't want to spoil it. But I feel like season 1 had a really solid plot from beginning to end. You always knew everyone's motives. You knew everything that was going on. The characters were developed slowly with like realistic expectations and reasoning. And then season 2 was like, we're going to do this, and now we're going to go do this, and now we're going to do this, and now we're going to go do this.
This
And
dude gets crazy.
I hope you remember this throwaway line from season 1 because that's the plot line now, and it just lost me. And like I might go back and rewatch it. I just think it had a lot of problems, but I still enjoyed it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful show to watch.
Animation wise, it's crazy. It's the most expensive show I think ever made.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
ridiculous.
You can tell. Yeah.
So I really recommend that. What else am I watching right now? Me and my wife watched Look Back the other day. That is like a 50-minute short film on Amazon, and it is based on a manga, and it is really, really good. And just like if you are someone who just likes to celebrate art and creation and like the drive and passion that it takes to make good art and to make things like that, I think it's hard to talk seriously when Jonah's doing the muffin thing again.
Cole laughed at me, and then I had to laugh.
I don't want to say too much about that because I don't want to spoil anything because it is only an hour long, so it's hard to get into too many points without spoiling stuff. But like, it's beautiful, and I think that everyone should watch it if you enjoy good animation and good storytelling through that medium. That's pretty good.
You said Look Back.
Look Back. It's an hour. It's on Amazon. Really recommend it.
I'd check that out. I'd watch it.
I made Cole watch Big Trouble Little China on Sunday.
I thought it was a fun time.
That was you at one point looked like you were just so done, and I was like, oh no, Cole's gonna hate this movie. So I was really worried you were gonna
actually,
like it.
I mentioned that to my dad. My dad knew exactly what the movie was. Like, oh, what movie did you watch at movie night at the house last night? It's like, oh, we watched Big Trouble in Little China. He goes, oh, that movie's great.
Yeah. The problem with that film, and I showed it to someone once. We watched it over Discord, and they didn't realize it was supposed to be a stupid comedy. And they like thought it was supposed to be serious, and they were like, "This is so dumb. This makes no sense. This is so stupid."
If it's played serious, it's a terrible movie.
It's awful. Like the acting is awful. The script is awful.
If you see it as comedy, cheesy '80s movie,
Classic.
it's a grand old
True
time.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I've not. No.
We're gonna have to have another movie night. I
have to
will
watch it again.
We're gonna
gladly rewatch that movie.
We're gonna watch
again.
Iron Claw, And then we're gonna have to do
Big Trouble in Little
a palate
China.
cleanser with Big Trouble in
Palate
Little
cleanser.
China.
Get the mood back in shape.
Yeah.
And then we'll watch Look Back. Triple feature.
Honestly,
I'm
we'll
down.
do it.
I'm down.
Live stream it.
Any other movies? Anything else you guys watched recently you guys want to talk about?
Well, I watched Squid Game 2.
Any good?
I liked it. Not as good as season 1,
Okay.
but I thought I was worried it would be like, kind of what's the word? Repetitive.
Yeah.
Brain fog again. But they kind of did some different things with it,
Okay.
and I enjoyed it. They kind of tried to do like an Infinity War thing where it ends on a hard cliffhanger without spoiling anything, and I don't know if I was a huge fan of that.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I can't say what I've been watching because this guy is pretty controversial right now.
Oh, I know what Cole's
And he
been
has
watching.
I have no idea.
He has a Squid Games esque show.
He's basically saying he's watching he's watching the Beast Games, which I haven't watched it.
Here's the thing. I like me some trashy game shows, so I'm here for it. It's
trashy as it gets. What was
Yeah.
controversial about it?
he is controversial.
Oh,
right
him
now.
as a person. Oh, yeah.
He's done some questionable things.
I don't know how much of the drama I buy into. Like, I don't dislike Mr. Beast, even though he has a lot of controversy surrounding him right now.
I mean, he's a big guy. He's a big fan, like, as far as fame goes. So
Oh,
he's gonna
he's
have controversy.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Controversy's gonna follow him.
Yeah.
There's one thing in particular, and I won't say what it was because I don't know if it's true or not. There's one thing in particular that, if it's true, is a really big no-no for me. But I don't know if it's true, so I'm not even going to bother bringing it up or talking about it.
Yeah, I don't
that
know
being
any
said, I've read nothing but terrible reviews about the Beast game.
I mean, here's the thing. It's a trashy reality game show.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
I
It's
think
like-
I think what did it in for me was when I saw IGN gave it a 2. I was like,
Ooh,
IGN
2.
throws out 7s like they're like a pedophile in a van, like
Oh.
throwing out candy. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like what in the world? Like the fact that IGN
2.
gave something a 2, I was like,
it's
That's not even like me.
I almost forgot to say throwing out candy. Just a pedophile in a van, and I
Yeah, I was
forgot,
about to say, what
forgot
do
the
you mean
candy
by
part.
that?
Forgot the
But
candy
like,
part.
you got to
Ah,
think
we
of it
got
this way:
vision.
if it's looking at his trashy reality game show, and it's also Mr. Beast who has unlimited budget to just throw whatever stupid games he has together, that's what it is. That's
Yeah,
all. It's
I
Mr. Beast with a bigger budget.
I liked his
Yeah,
YouTuber
pretty
one where
much.
he was pitting the like 50 YouTubers against each other. Like that was a pretty good video.
I like his videos. His videos are fun to watch.
I like most of them. Yeah, they're pretty good. All right, Beast Games. I'll add that to my list. I will watch that at some point. And Jonah brought up The Ultimatum earlier. I guess I need to watch The Ultimatum.
Oh, that I haven't watched. I only watched season 1 of that. That show is pure trash.
Is
but
it
it's
worse
fun.
than Too Hot to Handle?
Oh, Too Hot to Handle's great. Though.
Too Hot to Handle
is
was
pretty
like
good too.
my guilty pleasure show there for a while. That show was incredible.
I've watched a lot of trashy dating shows. That's tough. I think Too Hot to Handle is like kind of cringy fun. Like, oh, they're sex addicts, haha. But Ultimatum is like, oh, like. Do you know the plot of Ultimatum?
I heard you describe it to my wife in there.
Yeah, you take a bunch of couples that are hesitant to get married, and then you put them on a group. They switch partners. They pick new partners for 2 weeks. They live together with the new partners while they're all still talking together. So, like, then this girl's new boyfriend is talking to her fiance about how they're making a big emotional connection, and then they switch back to their old partners. It's a disaster. It's like real cringe, if that makes sense. Like painful
I might
cringe.
check it out. It sounds interesting. It
it's
kind
a
of sounds like
disaster.
Wife Swap.
Yes, kind of like Wife Swap.
Okay.
Kind of like Wife Swap. It's such a disaster.
I'll check it out at some point. Someone's giving me a call. I'm gonna just mute that in my pocket.
Sorry, I'm very passionate about Netflix dating trash.
You're right.
So,
I
yeah.
I respect it. Someone has
Yeah.
to be. I'm glad it's you.
Yes, yeah.
I'm glad it's you. Okay. Well, if you guys last call, any movies, anything to bring up?
No.
I feel like I watched a lot more than just Look Back, but like,
We-
do I remember
Most
what I
of the
watched?
time, it's been just Marvel Rivals, and
Yeah, I've been just chilling for the Christmas
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. if you speaking of Christmas time, your champion of the list in a blowout victory, Mr. Cole.
Oh,
right
the
here.
Christmas list.
The Christmas top 5 list.
Oh,
19 to 5 to 4.
I didn't
We
know what he was
got
talking about there for a
destroyed.
second.
You guys
Yeah, we
got
really
blown
did.
Yeah, we did.
out.
Hey, I'm just right, and everyone else that voted was wrong.
It's not my fault that people have no taste.
yes,
Oh, my
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what?
Tyler-
Hold up, Jonah. I can't. Listen, I say that, but I can't fight with your list either.
Hey, my list is
Tyler,
they're
hey,
great
he
movies.
beat your list.
I did by one.
I stand by what I said. It's not my fault that the general public has no taste.
Look, here's the thing: Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and Die Hard is a great movie, but Die Hard does not have the Christmas spirit as much as some of those other movies.
Sure it does.
I'm fine with that argument. Fine
Yeah.
with you leaving Die Hard off. In full transparency, maybe I shouldn't say this. I kind of agree with you, but if you don't put Die Hard on your list, it's not going to make any like that. That is the pick that you have to put on.
Christmas Vacation is what. Did
Oh
you
yeah,
in.
no, that's why and Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up watching that or Christmas Story, so I don't care for those two.
What did me in was easily putting Jingle,
Jingle
All the Way.
number one. It's
I stand by it.
the best Christmas movie.
It is one of the only
fun, dude.
Christmas
It's
movies.
fun. I get it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but
It's one of the only Christmas movies that has a plot. That movie is like the Odyssey. We have
plot?
we have Odysseus, and he has a goal. He needs
there's
to
no way you're
he needs to
related.
rescue his
literature.
relationship with his son by getting a Turbo Man doll. And the movie is about him getting the Turbo Man doll, and it even results in him like fighting his like what kind of becomes his best friend in the movie, and like
True,
this,
betrayal,
like,
yeah.
parade showdown with superpowers. That's awesome. So many other good Christmas movies don't have a throughput plot. Like let's look at like Elf. Like Elf is like, okay, we start at
he went on his own Odysseus journey.
yeah, but there's not a throughput. I guess is the reason I don't like a lot of Christmas movies.
I mean,
like,
he meets
did you have
dad.
Klaus?
Yeah, he had
Klaus might have been 5.
I like Klaus. Is that the animated one?
Yeah.
Klaus is
That one
awesome.
has a throughput story. I like that one a lot. So like Elf, we are kidnapped from the orphanage, and Santa decides it's not worth his time and money or effort to just try to bring the kid back for some reason. And that nun probably went throughout her whole life with depression because she thought she lost a baby. Let's not talk about that.
You're thinking about it too much. You're thinking too much.
But that aside, we go to New York, and then we do a thing, 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 and there's no plot
That's not like the.
until Santa's sled crashes in like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
It's a hater.
well, I guess the plot would be like the plot is he's trying to
It's just
restore his
like-
relationship with his dad.
It's just like scene.
It's shenanigans.
I like Turbo Man because it's like we have a goal. And same thing, Christmas Vacation. Love Christmas Vacation. You could argue the goal is to put on a good family Christmas, but that's not really like that's like a loose secondary plot point. It's like a funny scene, and then a funny scene, and then a funny scene, and then a
I'm
funny
just.
scene.
You're huffing that copium right now, dude.
Dude, my brain's
That he lost.
fried.
Yeah.
But also,
We're just gonna let you just talk.
Cole
here.
had the best crowd pleasing list. I will definitely agree with
I'll
that.
say this: so many people watched Jingle All the way back when it came out and didn't like it, and every person that I've had rewatch that movie has loved it.
I agree that it's good.
Yeah,
Jingle
I
All the Way is
enjoy
a
it.
blast. I love Jingle All the Way.
I think so many people watched it when it came to theaters, and it was considered bad, so people didn't go watch it.
that some people don't want to have fun. Jingle All the Way is so fun.
Yeah,
Like
it's so good.
How can you watch the
It's got a really bad Rotten Tomato score. Don't look it up if that's what you're looking up.
No, I just want to look at when it came out. Oh, 96?
I know
What
we're on
date?
crazy tangents right now, but speaking of Christmas movies and Rotten Tomato scores, what is it?
It was a good week for cinema because Jingle All the Way was on the 16th of November in 1996. November 15th in 1996 was the release of Space Jam.
How does he know this?
How do you know that? That's just on top of your head.
Are you the Rain Man?
That is a good week. That's 2
What
days
a
of
good
history.
week for cinema, honestly.
Honestly, that might be the reason that Jingle All the Way flopped.
Could be.
You can't compete with Space
You
Jam.
can't compete with Bugs and Michael.
Everyone's like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing karate, like with like Space Jam. And then there was Space Jam 2. And then there's Jingle All the Way 2. So they're basically the same film.
Honestly,
with
yeah,
Harold the
it's
Cable Girl.
destined to do this forever.
Yeah. Ooh.
Speaking of Rotten Tomatoes and Christmas movies, this shocked me. One more little tidbit. About
You're good.
Christmas.
That tangent tidbit away, buddy.
The one movie that I didn't watch until like 2 years ago, probably a Christmas movie I really like, Four Christmases.
I love
it was
that
on your
movie.
list.
Yeah.
I love Four Christmases.
Isn't that movie
is so
amazing?
funny. I love that movie. And then I for some reason was looking at Rotten Tomatoes. That has like a 40. Mm-hmm. What?
I know,
That's
right?
that's a good movie.
It's insane. I don't love Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's a good metric to see what the audience's perception of something is, but I don't think it's a good metric to go by for whether a movie's good or not.
yes. Yes.
It's good to kind of gauge audience perception, but that's about it. Yeah, because Jingle All the Way also has terrible scores. But people did not like Four Christmases. Similar situation. I think it
movie's so
came out
funny.
in theaters, and people said, "This is a dumb bad movie. I don't like dumb bad movies. This is
Yeah.
a dumb bad movie."
Don't like having fun.
But if you go watch it now, it's really funny. It's
Yeah.
really funny. It's got one of my favorite Christmas scenes, which is oh gosh, what's the guy's name? Vince Vaughn.
It's fun.
Yes.
Vince Vaughn, he's getting carried away in the moment. It's at the like mega church Christmas.
Oh, the Joseph
and he's
thing,
playing
yeah.
Joseph, and like his wife forgets the line, and then he's like, "I will swaddle this baby!" Like just so funny. It's so good.
So funny. That movie's hilarious. The scene where he's at her mom's house and the grandma, they're like going around saying what they're thankful for. And the mom, I don't know if I can say it on the podcast.
Say
but
it.
The mom says like, "I would like to increase the frequency in which I pleasure my husband." And then Vince Vaughn, like, it gets quiet. He goes, "Did she just say that?"
I like how you whispered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Guys,
oh, I don't want.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't let anyone know that Jonah watched a movie that mentions
Sex.
Marital sex.
Yes. Between old people.
Technically great in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
Sex.
Don't let anyone listen to this podcast. It's getting dirty.
Movie that I forgot about, but Elena recently put it in, and I think she might make it her movie night pick. We watched it, and not only did I forget how much I liked the movie, I forgot it's a Christmas movie. But Just Friends or Best Friends or something with Ryan Reynolds. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay,
I've never even heard
she's
of
gonna
that.
put it in as a Christmas movie. I think it's called.
It ain't no Hot Frosty, probably, but
Oh,
See, I like this more than it's really good. It's Ryan Reynolds back, like when he was just kind of starting to figure out that like Ryan Reynolds like smugness for films. And I
Yeah.
think it's called Just Friends, and it's like the movie like he was like really fat and nerdy and geeky in high school, and then he becomes an adult, loses a bunch of weight, goes back to his hometown, and is now trying to like get together with his high school crush.
okay.
It's a Christmas movie. I forgot that it was a Christmas movie, and it was really good. So I would add that to my potential list for a future year. So we'll see. All right. Let's move on. Unless you guys have an, I'm
I think we're
shooting
good
the
now.
breeze. Okay.
That was a good
I haven't heard
intro
of it.
there.
Good intro, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's just good because I'm
tangent.
worried this episode's going to be a little short. We'll see. We're going to be discussing the first Slam Dunk, which will be the second, I think, anime movie
Yeah.
we've reviewed on this.
It's, you haven't had a good track record of anime so far.
I know. But to be fair, the only one we've done on here I hadn't seen yet, so I couldn't have known.
True. And this is also the first episode we've done a movie that's not current, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to
Yeah.
try to start doing it. If you like this, we're going to try to do a few more of these as well. So the first Slam Dunk, it is a basketball movie based on the manga of the same name, which was also written and directed by, I'm going to butcher this name, Takahiko Inoue. Inoue. I think I'm saying that right. I'm super sorry, Mr. Takahiko, if I'm saying that incorrectly. So the guy, I thought it was interesting. The guy, the mangaka, as they call him, the guy who wrote and drew the original manga, wrote the readaptation for this film and directed it, which I thought was cool because, like, even though the movie is very different than the manga and very different from the anime of the same name that came out in like the 90s, it's like his take on, and I think he kind of phrased it in an interview like it's the way he would have told it, like if he was going to retell the story. So I thought that was
Okay.
cool.
That's cool.
I kind of want to know, going into this movie, what your guys' thoughts were because I like anime. Jonah, I think you're indifferent to anime.
I have a positive opinion of anime, but I'm not an anime fanatic.
And Cole, despite deep down in his heart enjoying anime, tries to tell people he doesn't like anime. So I want to know your guys' thoughts going into this movie. When I said for my movie night pick, we're watching an anime film, like what were your thoughts going in?
I thought you were just trying to butter me up with it being a basketball movie.
You're not entirely wrong.
Yeah.
Was
Like,
I wrong?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
not entirely wrong.
We'll get into that when we get into that. But like, I was open to like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. It's also because it's Tyler's pick for movie night, and I'm not going to skip out on movie night.
And he has to give it a shot.
Yeah.
He's legally obligated.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Ooh, that was
Hey.
you can't. I
You're gonna
wish
see me make that. I did a basketball motion with my hands just now.
we chose not to. Oh, you're right. We'll move that. We
Okay.
chose not to film, but I kind of wish we were filming just to have caught you like doing an imaginary 3-pointer there.
Hitting my elbow on the
That was really
stand.
funny. All right. Did you have any preconceived notions going into this film?
Not really. Well, I had heard about this movie before. And
Well, no, I asked this because normally I'd ask you guys like in the theater thoughts about the movie before we go into the movie. So I know this wasn't a theater one, but I still want to like take that step. So did you have any preconceived notions?
Well, like I said, I heard about it before, just through like chatter, like online and everything. I heard it was really good, so I kind of expected it to be good, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, just because like it's not that I don't like sports movies, but I'm not like a sports movie connoisseur or anything. But I really enjoyed it. But we'll get into that. But
I'll say the first time I watched it, this time I watched it was like my third viewing, but the very first time I watched it back in like, I think it was last year I watched it for the first time. I was expecting not to like it because I don't like sports movies most of the time. But a YouTuber, I think it was Chris Stuckman. Is that a name?
I like Chris
Is that a
Stuckman.
YouTuber?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, he's directing a movie now.
Oh, awesome. Good
Yeah.
for him. He recommended it as one of his best movies of 2023. And I was like, it was like his like number 2 or number 1. I was like, interesting. And he was like, I normally don't like anime, but like I liked this. And I was like, I guess I'll give this a shot because I do like anime, but I just don't like sports films. So I've scrolled past it on Netflix several times, but I was thoroughly impressed with it. That was really good.
Yeah.
One of the few things we can talk about spoiler wise, what do you guys think of the animation?
That was really good.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with it. It was rotoscope, right?
A lot of it was rotoscoped. Yeah, like they had people like do like basketball-y things, like actually go out there and dribble and shoot
Basketball.
basketball-y
Basketball-y
things,
things.
and then they rotoscoped over it. Yeah. A lot of people are turned off by the animation in it. It's kind of a little jarring at first. The 3D.
It is, but
yeah,
I liked it.
I think it looks really good,
it
especially
does
when you
look
get
Yeah.
everyone starts moving around and like.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie did an amazing job of showing weight.
If they would have tried and like done like not rotoscope with it, I feel like it would have looked choppy and
Yeah,
rough looking.
I agree. Yeah, and like
For this kind of movie, yeah, you definitely need to.
you need something. You need something. Yeah, there's a couple times it looks weird, like the scene at the very end.
I mean, it's no Joel Haver, but it's not.
Yeah. There's a shot towards the end where there's like a slow-mo of a ball going into the net, and like the way that the net reacts is technically realistic. It just looks off.
It looks video gamey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple times it looks weird, but overall I thought it was like it grows on you. I'll say that. It
It
grows
does,
on you.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought some of the like at the beginning, like the like beach and the rocks, are, like hand painted, like watercolor looking.
Oh, yeah.
Looks so cool. I like that a lot.
They don't always do it, but the majority of the time that it's a flashback, it's 2D, and the majority of the time that it's present day, it's 3D. I don't know if that was intentional or just like we're not doing basketball, so we're not going to bother 3D animating it, but I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah.
So there's not too much we can say about this movie without spoiling it. So plus we're already 25 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead and say wee woo. Spoiler warning. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch the first Slam Dunk on Netflix. It is an amazing movie. I agree with Chris Stuckman. I don't know if it was my number one of 2023, but it is a phenomenal movie. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it now. I want to ask before we start talking about like favorite moments, least favorite moments, stuff like that. Did you think the team was gonna win at the beginning of the movie?
I mean, it's a sports movie. You gotta
Yeah.
assume they're gonna win. Like,
But it's also an anime, and I don't know. You're like, don't watch as many as I do. People lose a lot in anime, like they really do. My wife and I are watching one right now, and I'm not going to say the name of it because it's ongoing. But like, it's a sports anime where the main character lost the like chance to go to nationals, and I'm like, what are they going to do now? Like, this is a sports
Oh,
anime, and the
shoot.
guy just lost.
well, the whole thing is like they're playing this game. They're the underdogs. You got to assume they're gonna.
Yeah, I was genuinely unsure the first time I saw the film. I was like, I can see them going the angle where they lose, but they are like, okay, the journey was still worth it. Like the connections they made are great. Like I could see them still doing it, even if they had lost. But I kind of was 50-50 on it. But you were for sure. You knew they were going to win.
I was confident they were gonna win.
Were you in the same boat?
It was kind of things where like, yeah, what he said is a sports movie. So I was like, they're probably gonna win. I wouldn't have been super surprised at the beginning if they would have pulled the whole like, oh, it's okay, we lost. But then as it went on, I was like, I don't think they're gonna do that.
You don't think they're going to lose?
But I still was like on the edge of my seat. Still, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, a character's not gonna die in a movie, but you're still really like,
Still really in
you
it.
still feel tense.
You watch.
It was kind of like that.
You
yeah.
watch a Rocky movie. You know Rocky's gonna win, but
probably.
like
except the
you're-
first one.
except for yeah.
Yeah, spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler
understandable.
for the
Rocky.
Spoiler for a
Rocky.
40-year-old movie.
What
Came out
the
in what?
70s.
I was going to say early 80s.
If you haven't watched it yet, sorry.
Yeah, that's on you at this
That's
point,
on you,
buddy.
if
Yeah.
you didn't figure that out.
I'm going to be totally honest here. But the first question I have here is the first question I always ask: favorite, least favorite character. I don't remember any of their names.
I remember.
So if you want to give broad character descriptors, I think that's an acceptable thing for it. So
I mean, I can tell you right now, least favorite is gonna be the sister.
oh, his younger sister.
Yeah.
Why?
She's annoying.
She,
fair.
How?
I don't know.
She's in the movie for like 5 to 10 minutes
It's
at
just
most.
5 to 10 minutes too much.
That was enough for you. Cole hates children in movies, even
Yeah.
if they're like, I thought the sister was fine, but that's understandable. Okay, and honestly, I mean that's more valid than
She
like,
was whiny. I will
Yeah,
give
she
you
whined a
that.
little too much.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
all
I
right,
mean,
that's
it
valid.
didn't bother me, but I get it.
I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna sound terrible.
Say it.
Wrong kid died.
Oh man. Okay, but like you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I want to do the air horn like.
One was way more chill.
Shout out to Dewey Cox on that one.
It was really funny. I tried not to laugh when I was alone watching this. He was on the beach and he's like, "I hate you. I hope you never come back." I was like, "That brother's dying." And then the next shot
Cuts
was like,
to him dead. Yeah.
and I was like, "Wow." I was like, they had no nuance with that.
Nope, this cuts to dang. Too bad he died on that boat.
He never come back.
Now, I mean, character wise,
I liked all of them. Yeah,
I liked all of them. My favorite though was probably the Dennis Rodman ripoff.
that's
the
actually
red-haired guy.
I typed in
Yeah.
literally favorite character, redhead guy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
literally what I put. So you just said Dennis Rodman. I think it's super cool as someone who doesn't follow basketball, the closest I follow basketball is enjoying the Caitlin Clark controversy that pops up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah, well,
and I don't even
I
have a
know
horse
about
in that race. I just enjoy watching people argue in the comments.
Yeah.
But I don't watch sports, so it was really cool for Cole to be like, "Oh, that's the Dennis Rodman like character. Oh, that is the wasn't there one that you said was a very LeBron like? Oh, this is that guy. This is that guy. Like it was really cool.
Say, well, I could definitely tell, like, it was good because early on they kind of established, like, the play style of all these guys. You got your main guy there, point guard, playmaker, has a lot of intensity, very undersized, but that's why he makes up the intensity. You got your sharpshooter who plays defense. His whole sole purpose is to hit threes and lock people up. You have your star player who does not like to pass the ball and has to learn how to trust teammates. You have Dennis Rodman, who's just a hustle guy, and then you have beefy big man grabbing rebounds and bullying everybody.
Was he a character like was he based on a basketball person? You think?
They all were. So actually, I watched the video after we watched,
Okay.
and they broke down each character, like what characters. Actually, this could be a lengthy tangent here.
Go for it.
Go
Okay.
for it,
Well,
go
I'm going
for
to
it.
time you, but go for it.
Okay. So point guard is based off of Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
From the
Okay, okay.
1980s Pistons.
Okay.
Undersized guard, facilitate, good defender, very intense. Klay Thompson was the sharpshooter that also plays defense. Prime Klay Thompson, not Klay Thompson now, who's washed and his knees have exploded.
Oh.
They compared our superstar to a young, like the guy, I forgot the guy's name. The guy that had,
I don't know any
the
other
guy
names.
was in the Yakuza, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy that was, he could just take over the game and score, but he does not like to pass. They compared him to a very young Michael Jordan
Okay.
Oh, okay.
before Michael Jordan learned how to trust his teammates.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman was the red hair. That was the consensus. And then big man, you could really just pick. I thought Shaq, but Patrick Ewing was the one that.
I could
The
see
consensus.
Shaq is one of the few I know, but I could see that.
But then I took that video.
Yeah.
I went to NBA 2K25.
Oh boy.
I created the team in 2K.
Ooh,
Did you really?
the
Yeah,
experiment.
with their NBA counterparts.
Did you record this for like a YouTube video? Because this sounds like something someone would make a
No,
YouTube
but
video about.
I tracked the data.
Okay.
Okay,
And
okay.
So what I did was I gave them where they played majority of the minutes, and I gave them just a mediocre bench to play with because let's be real, the guys aren't playing.
No.
Yeah.
You had Harry Potter. We
Yeah.
kept calling him Harry Potter.
Went in
Yeah.
like twice for 2 seconds, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I don't know how it is for Japanese teams, but like the coach also didn't ever coach during the game at least. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure he may have at practice, but during the game he just sat there and like
but they
watched
did not
him.
win the championship in the 2K sim.
Okay.
They lost to the Boston Celtics in the conference finals
Okay.
in 7 games. But
That's
So
unfortunate.
they were close.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Well, I think that's really fun though. I think it's really fun that you did that.
Yeah, that could be a bonus episode.
As someone who doesn't watch basketball, I think it's really cool that as much as I enjoyed this, there's a whole element to it that I would have never picked up on, and I think that that's cool that that's all there.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite character is the redheaded guy. I once again don't know his name.
he's entertaining.
He's entertaining.
He had a lot of heart.
He's the playmaker. I think he's who the original show really focuses on. He's at least who's on the cover of the original like anime on Netflix. I watched like one episode and was like, eh. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought he was easily probably my favorite character. You said your least favorite character. I didn't really have a least favorite character. Like
Not really.
everyone that was in it was good.
The mom kind of sucked, but she's kind of supposed to suck.
Yeah,
I
the,
think,
Yeah,
mom, the
so.
mom is going through it.
She
Yeah.
sucks for a reason.
Yeah. There's
Like I-
character based
like I
reasons for
said.
sucking.
Wrong kid died.
Yeah.
Oof.
Facts.
Oof. You don't know that little girl's not going to go like solve cancer or something cool.
She's an anime character.
Yeah, so you can do anything she wants. She has the power of God and anime on her side.
She ain't gonna ball up though.
Yeah,
She don't got that bag though.
it's
Yeah.
true. It's true. So no least favorite character for you either, Jonah?
Not really. No.
I feel like that's a cop out when I do that. But like, what characters were in this film?
The opposing team's coach, I don't hate him, but he was very incompetent.
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
The
Yeah.
only character I could even come close to thinking of is the guy that we started calling the Dumpling Man, the Dumpling guy on the opposing team.
Oh yeah.
Because the opposing team had a big man, and then they randomly got a second big man who never really talks. He just looks like he's confused the whole time
Yeah.
and just kind of takes up space.
They have those guys.
I feel like they gave almost every single character a personality in this movie except for that man. So if I had to pick a least
Yeah.
favorite character, it would be that guy.
There's
He
very
was-
few characters on the other team who are like they're not as established. There's like the one guy.
I thought there were several on the other team who had
No,
like a like the big guy had his counterpart. Like he had the guy who
Like
was,
they have their counterparts, but like I don't care about the other team's counterparts. Like they didn't make them as like likable.
They didn't make them as
Well, I
no,
get it, they're not likable because
they're not as fleshed out. I'll give you that, but I still felt like they had a character,
It's
and
like
then
the-
the
it's like-
dumpling guy was just there.
It's like Fairly Odd Parents with the anti-fairies, essentially what they did.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Foop. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I had to pick someone, that'd be it. Did you guys have a favorite part of the movie? And you are allowed to say the last 8 seconds of the basketball game. Like that's allowed.
I will say this. The basketball I really liked from start to finish, but what I really appreciated them doing is something that's really realistic. They had a big deficit. They had to overcome it. For a movie, it's fine. It's like, okay, we got to make a comeback. Okay, that makes for a exciting story. I liked how they realistically approached it. Because they had a 20, 25 point
It was
deficit.
like a
at
20
halftime.
point, at one point.
So their thing was, it wasn't going to be, we're going to get all 20 points back and go on a 20-0 run. Their thing is, let's get it to 10 by the fourth quarter. Let's get it to 5 by this quarter. That's how you got to look at it,
Yeah.
realistically. I appreciated that. And also I appreciated that it wasn't just they're going to go on a 20-point run. Oh, now it's tied.
Yeah.
The other team was
Still scoring.
scoring and countering back like it was an actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt more, it still felt intense that way. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, they're making more points. Yeah.
One of the more realistic sports movies I've watched, which is interesting to think about.
Yeah.
So that was your favorite part, was
I
the way they approached it?
I enjoyed the realism of it.
I respect that. Did you have a favorite scene? Like a favorite individual moment?
No, because not really, because it's just it always the whole game itself was really good.
Yeah. It's very entertaining.
And I get it, that's most of the movie, is the game.
Yeah, this game. Yeah.
You know, it's probably split half and half if I had to guess.
It,
Well,
it
maybe.
felt like there was
I'd
more
say it's
game.
60% basketball,
60-40.
maybe 65. Yeah, and then
I enjoyed the basketball part, the story, the other stuff I really didn't care
you
for.
didn't care for that.
It was fine.
See, I enjoyed them both equally, but I was I expected you to say that was your least favorite part of it. But I guess I haven't asked that question yet. Maybe you will. Did you have a favorite part, Jonah?
I think the scene that sticks in my mind the most is when red-haired guy, his back was obviously hurting, and then the coach is booting him out the game, and then he's like, "No, it's my time to shine. This is my moment," and then he jumps back in. That was really hype.
That was really cool.
So
There's one part that all 3 times I've watched this movie, and it's involving the redheaded guy, has gotten I'm getting a little bit of goosebumps thinking about it. He's hurt his back. He is in the game, and after hurting his back, he's back in, and a guy goes to dunk the ball, and then it just the camera pulls back, and the redheaded guy is there, and he goes, "That's mine," and just grabs the ball out of his
Yeah.
hands midair. I think that's so fire. I think that was probably it's like a little 2-second clip, probably my favorite 2 seconds. The redheaded guy also had my favorite, other favorite moment, which was him. The ball's about to go out of bounds. It's probably game over if it does, and he just materializes. And I think it's actually the scene where he hurts his back.
he slams in the table.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And you said that's a
That's a Rodman thing.
thing Dennis Rodman really did.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they based that off. He would, if you go back
I'm gonna
and
look
watch,
up while you talk. I'm gonna look up a picture of Dennis Rodman. I've never seen this guy.
if you look up prime Dennis Rodman on the
He's even got red hair in this picture.
yeah, he had his whole thing was he changed hair color. He's a weird guy.
He literally I guess I've never looked up a picture. He literally has they made his hair color red, and the texture that they did. I think you're 100% right to just rip off Dennis Rodman. That's kind of cool.
Him on the Pistons, the Spurs, and the Bulls were just peak Rodman. The man it's exactly like this character, play style and everything. He wasn't a scorer. His whole thing was, I'm going to grab rebounds, defend, and be a pest to the other team. That was his whole thing.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Made a career out of being a pest.
He's kind of like the Star-Lord in Marvel Rivals of
Yeah.
basketball, in a way.
Misses every shot. What goes in and out.
Except
yells
I don't like Star Lord, and I liked this guy.
Yeah.
Fair,
Yells
fair, fair.
legendary, then you just hate him like this man sucks.
Exactly.
Our brains
Gotta
are
be a little
cooked. We've been
pest.
thinking Marvel Rivals too much. I expected my students to have played a lot of Marvel Rivals, and I went in to talk about it with them, and only 2 kids have been playing it, and loosely played it, and I was like, I thought that more people would be playing this game. That's
It
okay.
had a huge player count the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Did you guys have a least favorite part? Just the flashbacks?
Yeah, I mean, they were fine, but I just enjoyed the basketball part so much that I was disappointed when we were cut away from it. Mm-hmm. But I get it, you need to flesh out the characters. But I just personally,
I liked that it was told in flashbacks, and I liked the flashbacks. I liked that they, in addition to fleshing out the characters, made this game have a lot more weight. This
game,
person
yeah.
has basically connected his being with basketball, but he's also tied up in the loss of a brother, and it's also ruined his relationship with his mom. And like, it's, I don't know, like I really appreciated the flashback stories, and I like that they were told in flashbacks. I'm glad that it wasn't like movie, basketball game, movie, or like a movie with the things happening and then they go to like sectionals, and then a movie where things happen and then they go to regionals, and then a movie where things happen and then they go to the finals. I like that it was finals with some flashbacks to how they got there.
I mean, I like the point guard's flashbacks, like his story. It's the ones with like I get it. He has to show how he's crossed paths with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All those like overall, like when it would cut away from the game in flashback, I would just like
Check out.
check out a little bit and like, oh, game's back on. It'd be like, it's like if you're watching a basketball game that goes to commercial.
Yeah.
I see
It's
what you're
essentially
saying.
how it was.
I get that. There's definitely a couple moments in it too, as much as I really like the movie, and I think that this is a movie that non-anime fans can watch and enjoy. I recognize that there's a few moments where it does get a little anime. Gets a little bit of that anime weirdness in it, which I'm fine with, but I would like, it's the only reason I hesitate to just recommend it to everyone.
Yeah. What parts do you think? Because I don't really think there's too many anime moments.
There's a few. The guy jumping up on the table at one point was like,
Oh, and he's like,
and he was like, "Look at me, I'm gonna win!" Like I
Yeah.
just feel like it's a little anime like. And then there's some other things that like I probably have tuned out, but like I was showing it to someone else at one point, and they talked about them writing on their hands and like giving the one guy rebound power.
Yeah.
They thought that was like too anime like, and I was like, maybe I'm just brain dead to it, but I feel
Yeah,
like
that was kind of goofy.
I feel like that's just more like, at least based off of I'm a white American man, based off of what I've seen, that just seems like that's maybe part of the culture, because I've seen that happen in many other things. The
That's
whole
some
like
Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, hey, the power of friendship will help you defeat that blue eyes white dragon.
Yeah.
Let's all have these marks on our hands, so we'll always be friends.
I'm glad Cole brought up Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I joked at the beginning of the podcast that Cole says he doesn't like anime, and then he's like,
Here's the thing: I used to love like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z to an extent.
see, even I never was huge into Dragon Ball.
Like, that was definitely the one I was least, but definitely Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon were my two big ones.
big ones, yeah.
Man's a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. I went back and
season 1 Yu-Gi-Oh!
I went back to rewatch some
Pegasus?
Pokemon recently. Have you rewatched Pokemon as an adult?
I don't think I've ever even watched Pokemon, even as a
rough.
child.
Like the original show, it's
Oh,
rough.
I'm sure it's not aged well.
It's not, no, not at all. And then I went back and they added Yu-Gi-Oh! To something. It might have been Hulu. They added Yu-Gi-Oh! To something, and I went back and rewatched
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, oh my gosh, this show is awful.
Oh,
I was
man.
like,
It
how
was
did
ma-
we?
you know who it was made for kids? It's-
True.
It
so-
made to sell cards.
Get you buy your
and
toys.
guess what?
Yeah.
We bought them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I bought so many Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. So many.
Pegasus, though, still cracks me up.
Still cracks you up.
Yeah.
Is that the white-haired guy with the eye,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Egyptian eye?
Yeah.
He's kind of
Very
funny.
flamboyant.
My favorite
Flamboyant.
My favorite part when I rewatched it recently was the grandpa just gets sick at one point. Like, it's implied that he was maybe beat up, but he has no wounds on his body. He's in the hospital, and then the moment Yu-Gi-Oh! Like wins that duel, he just magically heals himself. I'm
Yeah.
like, what was the
Part of the cards, you know.
Part of the cards.
like? Why was he sick?
Kaiba beat him up. He took his blue eyes white dragon.
Tangent we're not going to go into. You should go look up what Yu-Gi-Oh! Was originally supposed to be. It was supposed to be like Squid Game, like death games, like.
That's
like
kinda
people
fun.
die.
We're gonna play checkers, and every time one of your pawns gets eliminated, we're gonna electrocute you and like slowly up the voltage on this car battery or something like
So it was
that.
like dark.
Yes, like it was
for
really
kids.
dark. Like and you had this character who was really good at games and found himself in these like death game scenarios, and then they did an episode. I said I wasn't going to go into a tangent. Look at this. Whoops.
Yeah,
They
tangents
did
are
a. It was like in the manga. They did a bit where they focused on like an imaginary like monster card game, like akin to Pokemon. And then whenever they were talking about making the show, they were like, "What if we only did that card game?" So that's kind of where
And
it
you
like
could sell it. Yeah.
yeah, it's where it's got its thing. So kind of cool.
Yugi boy.
Look at boy.
Is that what the grandpa sounds like?
No, that's Pegasus. I can't do a good Pegasus.
Yeah, give us your best Kaiba.
I,
Come on, Cole. I know you have. I've heard your Kaiba. I know you have a Kaiba.
man, I don't need. I had to get it. No, I continue on.
Think on that. Think on
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna have to. Think. Now I'm psyched out.
We're gonna end on Kaiba. Well, to be honest, I've said most of what I'm gonna say about this movie. I really like the animation. I like that it was character driven. It just used basketball to tell a bigger story. I didn't really have a lot that I disliked about this film. Like I said, it's I hate giving a movie a 10 at movie night. I do. If it's my movie, I hate giving it a 10. I gave this one a 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like this
Now,
film.
For disclaimer, like, kind of knowing where my scores are at now, I gave this thing like a 9.5 or something like that. Do I see it really getting like that high for like when I'm actually scoring it, like thinking objectively? No, because that's movie nights off of.
Well, when we do movie night, we
It's-
do go like pure enjoyment.
yeah, pure enjoyment. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like really like trying to break it down and everything, it probably won't score as high as that.
No, I get it. That's okay. Jonah, do you have any likes or dislikes about the movie we haven't talked about before we go to the rubric?
We kind of touched on it, but I really liked the way they told it, like where the game is going on and then you get the flashbacks. Even though I do agree, they kind of feel like commercials sometimes. I thought it was way more interesting than like, here's all the setup and here's the meeting. Now here's the game. It was like, all right, there's enough goofing around. Here's some more basketball.
Yeah.
You know what
it was just fun.
I was really hoping they would have is come out at halftime and there'd be a pig rap is what I was really anticipating.
That's all, folks.
I'm glad that Cole has come around to the fact that Space Jam 2 was not a good movie.
Listen.
Whenever it first came out, I was like, I didn't like it. He's like, you didn't like it? I thought it was pretty good. And I was like, this
I said it was.
I had the
alright.
same
like,
thing happen.
this man
It's okay.
is cooked. And then slowly over several months, Cole has like been like, oh yeah, it's not good.
It's denial.
It was
a river
kind
in
of funny. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into the rubric. We're at 45 minutes. We're doing good on time. Let's go ahead and hop in. Jonah, why don't you start us off? I don't want to start with the enjoyment. I was going to say let's go backwards. Let's not go backwards. Let's start with plot. I'll start with Jonah. Jonah, what are you going to give the plot in this movie?
The plot, I'm gonna give plot a 4,
Okay.
just because I really like. Should we wait? Hang on. Pause. Should we mention that we're changing the rubric?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that when we got to it, but it doesn't hurt to say it now. We are changing the rubric, new season, new rubric. I don't know if that's going to happen every season, but it's happening now. We are replacing characters with acting, or just kind of characters is part of the plot in the same way that we determined continuity was part of the plot. So we're replacing characters with acting. So now the rubric is plot, acting, visuals, audio, and enjoyment.
Okay. So with that being said, I have some character. The 4th thing comes into the characters. The plot was really good. I was super invested in the game. I was invested in the main character, and I really enjoyed a lot of the characters. I thought they were really fun. I don't think there are some characters I didn't really care about quite that much. I really didn't care about Mafia Boy very much. That's just me, though. That's just me. They kind of fleshed him out a little bit with showing how he like crossed paths with him, but they were like fun side characters, I guess. But some other ones like Mafia Boy, who got kind of a decent amount of flashback time, I don't feel like I was as invested in him with the amount of flashback time they got. But other than that, all the characters were really fun, and I would give it a 4.
Okay. Cool.
So
Cole, how about you?
This was tough for me because now we're linking it with characters also.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the sister.
Okay.
Didn't care about most of the other team, like as far as like them being like they're very forgettable except for like the one that goes off to college and plays against our point guard.
Mm-hmm.
But also like all the flashbacks I didn't care for either. So I'm just gonna go mid and just go 3.
Okay.
okay, yeah.
I like the basketball aspects. This other story, I could do without. You could just show me just the basketball part and cut everything out, and I still would have enjoyed it.
Valid. My brain might be cooked on copium, and this might be a spoiler warning for the rest of the rubric for me, full transparency, but as someone who's seen this movie 3 times, I still enjoy, on the 3rd watch, I enjoy the flashbacks, I enjoy the connections. I did like the Yakuza flashback guy. You have this guy who used to be really big into basketball, joined the Yakuza and decided to put basketball down, and then has decided, you know what? Maybe the life I'm leading isn't that good. Maybe it's not lame to dedicate yourself to something, because he kind of implied that like he quit because he thought it was lame to dedicate yourself to that.
That's fair.
And then he decides, nope, I am going to dedicate myself to something again. He kind of turned over a new leaf. Like I enjoyed that plot line a lot. So I'm a 5. Like I said, I'm maybe huffing copium, but I love this movie. Love
I think
this
it's
movie.
valid.
I'm going to give it a 5. Cole, why don't you start us off with acting? Might be a little hard. I know the movie's in Japanese.
It's in Japanese.
I insisted we watch it in Japanese, and I stand by that.
You know,
I agree.
I don't know if I could, without like also it being like fresh in my mind, like every like the performance aspect of it. I don't feel comfortable giving it a 5, so I'm going to cop out and do a 4 though.
That is a cop out, but you do you, man.
Yeah, because I don't feel like, I mean, if it's not, it's not. But like, I remember it being good.
On the voice acting wise, and then knowing the stuff is rotoscoping is kind of where I'm basing my opinion on. So I get where you're coming from. With it's not super fresh.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, I'm sure maybe I rewatched it and it's like, you know what? It's a 5. I'll say it on another episode and I'll retract my.
you're good.
But yeah, I'm gonna go 4 though.
Okay, I am going to give it a 5. I appreciate that a lot of it was rotoscoped. I thought that as someone who does watch a lot of anime, not all anime voice acting is equal. There are some bad anime voice acting out there. Thought the voice acting was phenomenal. I really like, and this sounds silly, I really like, and this was part of direction, that the lip flaps, their mouth movements matched the dialogue, because modern anime has just kind of given up on that. They just go like generic mouth open close and then they dub it after the fact. This one, I like that whoever was animating it worked with whoever was doing the voice acting to have it line up. Thought that was good. So I'm going to give acting a 5. Jonah?
I'm going to give acting a 4. Kind of going off what Cole said. Maybe it's because of the language barrier, and then because I haven't watched a lot of anime. I thought the voice acting was really good, was really great. There wasn't really any voice acting moments or performances where I was really like, oh man, what a knockout performance from whoever played this character. But it was really great. I'm going to give it a 4. But like I said, I think, 5, I'm thinking knockout amazing.
I think
I'm going to give it a 4.
I'm partially biased, and then also, like I said, I watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm comparing it against the other things I've seen, but I get that. I do. I'll go ahead and start us off with the next one. Visuals. I think we were talking about it at the beginning. I'm cooked. My brain is full of copium. But I'm going to give visuals a 5. Once you get used to the CG animation, I think it's an amazingly beautiful moment. The couple moments where it looks a little jank are so few and far between that I'm still appreciative of the fact they did it. The animation team knocked it out of the park. I'm going to give visuals a 5. Jonah.
I'm also going to give visuals a 5. The only real moment that I can think of off the top of my head that stood out to me was that net flip, because it looked kind of video game-ish.
Yeah.
But that really didn't detract from my enjoyment
Really
at all.
one of my
It
few,
didn't-
too. Yeah, that's
no.
like what comes to mind.
It didn't bother me. I mean, yeah, when you mentioned it, it looks kind of silly, but it didn't bother me at all. And I thought the rotoscoping looked really cool, and the watercolor vibe they went for and the whole thing I thought was great. The I don't know, the angles they would do, like zooming on the hand, slapping the ball away or something. Really cool.
It's
Stylish.
I feel like anime fits sports really well, because you can pause the game, tell what's in their head, show things from weird angles. Like, I feel like it really benefits from it.
Oh, yeah. It was really, everything they did with the angles and the choreography, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Or direction, I guess is a better word for that. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I liked the watercolor. I love that. You remind me, I think I mentioned it was like anime Lilo and Stitch vibes with the watercolor. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give it a 5.
Awesome.
I have no complaints with that.
Okay. Cool.
Visuals, correct?
Yes.
5.
Okay. Anything you want to add, or just
Nope.
we said it all?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's go on. How about I let you start us off? That way you have the most to say on audio.
I'm going to do 4.
Okay.
Solid, but it's not like knock you out of the park like on the audio. Like even like some of the songs were really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was just very good.
Okay.
It wasn't to quite the level where I feel comfortable giving it that 5,
Okay.
but it was still really good.
All right. Jonah?
I'm kind of in the same boat. 4. There were some songs in particular, like towards the end, that were awesome. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 5. The soundtrack went insane style at the end. Actually, I can't even lie to you.
Okay.
It went insane.
I love how often Jonah changes the score midway through his score.
Well, I thought
he
about
does
it.
Like
I was talking. I was like, there were some good ones at the end. I was like, heck, they were really good though at the end though. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll regret that later.
No.
But I remember. I think I said out loud at the end, "Oh my gosh, the music is going crazy." Mm-hmm. I feel like that's worth a 5.
I think there's a lot of moments where the music is good. I feel like, and maybe it's just because I'm trying to teach kids how to sync up audio and DaVinci Resolve, but like constantly having to sync the basketball hitting the floor with the sound of the
Sneakers,
dribble with
yeah.
the sneakers and like the net. Like, I feel like they did a good job. We made fun of it, but like the breathing, like sounds realistic, and like it's just the spatial audio with the surround sound system sounded good.
Yeah, I'm
I
convinced
thought
5 all the way.
use of audio was really good, and my favorite moment was maybe towards the end. This almost made it in there for my favorite moment, where I said you guys could use it. There's a moment towards the end where it's like a minute of no audio, which I think was a really cool use of space. Like you go from the crowd is roaring, and then I don't know if you guys paid attention. This is like the third time I've seen it, so I noticed. But they slowly bring the crowd volume out as like the clock starts ticking down, and then they just go to them breathing with the clock ticking, and then they go to just the clock ticking, and then they take away the clock, and then it's just like a minute of just straight silence until they high five, then the music and the crowd comes back in. So cool, so awesome. I think I'm definitely a 5 for
Yeah.
audio.
Now that you mentioned all that, yeah, I'm pretty locked down on a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then enjoyment. Spoiler alert, I'll start us off on this one. I picked the movie. I said it's one of my favorite movies. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm cooked. Enjoyment for me is a 5. Cole, I think it's you.
I'm also going to go with 5.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this movie. Even though the Ted Lasso coach kind of ticked me off with his incompetence as a coach. It's
Too much. He was an interesting pick for coach.
you know what? I'll get into it after.
You're
Jonah,
good.
go.
Jonah?
I'm also going to go 5. I know I mentioned earlier during plot that I wasn't as big of a fan of like not as big of a fan. I liked all the characters, but I remember my choice of words was I wasn't as like attached to some of the characters. That really I don't think that really hinders me enough to give that a 4 at all because I love this. I had a really great time with this movie. I loved it.
All righty. Well, that brings it all together. That puts me at a 100, Cole at an 84, and Jonah at a 92, bringing its total score to a 92% average, putting it in one of the better movies we've watched. So
I think that's
Definitely
valid.
better than the last anime we watched.
that's 100% true. I agree. Suzume was meh.
I need to watch
Alrighty.
that movie.
Well, we're at an hour. We need to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to immediately following this do an episode on Nosferatu. So if you enjoyed this, please like it, share it with your friends. I hope you stick around for Nosferatu, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening.
Wait.
Oh,
Kaiba.
Kaiba impression. Bring us out.
I summoned the blue eyes white dragon.
That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's pretty
pretty good.
solid. All
Yeah.
right. Yugi!